Hello and welcome to another video. In this video, I will show you how to use Google Tag Manager to deploy Google Analytics tracking code to your website. In this video, the first thing I will be going over is setting up your Tag Manager account. We will create a new account and we will create a website container that goes along with it. After that is done, we will install the Tag Manager on the website and then set up Google Analytics tracking code with the website container. Finally, I will show you ways to test and validate all of the changes on your website and also through Google Analytics. So let's get right into the video. In part 1, I will show you how to set up the Tag Manager account. We will navigate to Google Tag Manager, which is tagmanager.google.com. Once that is done, we will create a new account and create a new website container. So here I am on the Google Tag Manager website. If you have not already logged into your Gmail account, it will ask you to log in. Once you're logged in, you will get here. The first thing we need to do is create a new account. Let's click on that. I'm setting up a new account. I will just call it a test account. I'm in US. It picks up my country correctly. If you see an error, you can correct it here, change it. Click on continue. I'm setting a container for a website. There are options if you're setting it up on your mobile app or AMP-based sites, but I'm going to click web here, and my website is dajuice.com. I'll just name the container dajuice to identify that clearly. Once that is done, let's click on the create option. You're presented with the TOS. Just accept. And once you accept that change, the Tag Manager creates a new container and an account for you. As soon as the container is created, you will get this message showing you that, hey, install the Tag Manager code. One is this one that goes in the header and rest goes in the body area. Just click on OK there for now. All things are basically blank. Since we already created a default container, you do get a message that container not published. On the top right, you see two options. One says preview and the second one is submit. So basically what happens with Google Tag Manager is every time you make changes to it to roll to your website, you have to submit those changes to be applied to your website. And this is all done in the background to Google Tag Manager manages it. So in this case, first one, we have created a new tag and we want to publish it. So click on the submit option on the top right. You want to give a version name, initial tag setup. Right now, it may not make much sense to set up a version name and configure a description, but as you deploy more and more changes, it becomes very helpful to have useful information here so you can identify which version, what changes were rolled out to with your container to the website. So once I'm done with this, I can click on publish. And now my container is active with Google Tag Manager. It has been published. You can see the version 1 initial tag set right here, and your notes will come in the bottom. I'm going to go click back on the workspace area. And now you can see live version 1, which I just published on my website. Now that we're done with it, let's get to the second part where we will add the Google Tag Manager code to our website. Okay, now I'm on my website. This is a WordPress based website. I will show you how to add a Tag Manager code using a plugin. I will also show you how to do it in the code itself. So if you have a custom website, for example. So first I went to the add new plugin page and I entered Google Tag Manager here. This Duracell Tommy's Google Tag Manager for WordPress plugin is the most common. I'll click on install. It's going to install this plugin, and once it's installed, we are going to activate it. Let's click on activate, and as soon as the plugin is activated, we are taken to the plugin page. Right here, you will see Google Tag Manager for WordPress, and there's a settings option. Let's click on that. Here, it asks you to enter your Google Tag Manager ID. This ID is for your container that you have previously created. We're going to keep rest of the options here as is. So let's get back to Google Tag Manager right here. And you see on the right top, this bar here, there's the Google tag, the container ID. I'm going to click on that and copy the ID. We'll go back to my WordPress site and I will paste it here and then save changes. Now the tag is active on my website, code is added to it. Let's check my website. I've already opened my website right here. I'm going to right click and say view page source. So I'm going to search for the tag manager code, GTM. I don't see anything right now. That's because I did not refresh the page. So let me refresh the web page right here. And let me look at the code again. And I'm going to search for GTM dash. You can see down here, the JavaScript of the Google Tag Manager has been successfully added to the website. So this is one way we can add the Google Tag Manager code using WordPress. Let's go back to the admin area. Another way is if you were not using plugins, you don't want to add another plugin to your website, or you have a custom website. At least in WordPress, there's a way. What you do is go to Appearance and Editor. And right here, you can go to the templates and there will be the theme header. This is the header.php file, which is included on all of the pages. So what I can do is go back to Google Tag Manager. And if you click right here, this is the code that goes to the header area. Similarly, this code right here in the template, you will edit your body file, the main content file, and add it here, add it to that, so the code appears on all of the pages. In this next step, I will show you how to actually set up a Google Analytics tracking ID with Google Tag Manager. We will create a new tag, trigger, and variable to deploy to our website, and then we will validate if things are correctly working. Here I am in Google Tag Manager. First thing you see, live version 1, where we deployed the container, the initial tag setup. So that is done. What we need to do now is go and add a new tag. You can add a new tag clicking right here, or go to tags. We'll actually go to the tags area and click on new to create a new tag. Here I will call it, since we're adding a Google Analytics tracking ID, so I'll just name it as such. You can name it whatever you would want. Then click on this right here. Google provides multiple tag types to be added. We are going to select the first one, Google Analytics. Click on that and it brings you right here. So the default track type is page view, is what we are going to track right now. Second thing is you need to tell Google, hey, you need to tell Tag Manager that with page view, use my Google Analytics tracking ID. So you click on this drop down, click on new variable, and here it's asking you to enter your tracking ID. So let's go to Google Analytics for our website. Here I am for DA Juice. Click on admin. On the admin page, you have the tracking info. I click on that and then click on tracking code. Right here is your Google Analytics tracking ID. Let's copy that and go back to Google Tag Manager. I will paste the Google tracking ID here, Analytics. That is done. I don't need to make any other changes, but you can, view other options here as well. As you grow your integration of Google Analytics with Tag Manager, you may be tracking e-commerce transactions, or you may be tracking custom campaigns. You can use these additional settings to set that up. For now, we only have the Google Analytics rollout. So here I'm just going to call it Google Analytics Tracking ID, the name of the variable. I will save this. Now I've informed Google Tag Manager, this is my Analytics ID, and track it on every single page view. But I still need to add a trigger. There are multiple types of triggers. You can click here and select one of the built-in triggers. We're not going to go through that right now, but what we will do is select the default all pages tracking. So now we're tracking Google Analytics all page. It hits on all of the pages when a user views it, and it's done. Click on save. Now our first tag, Google Tracking ID, has been created. What we can do is, since we already added it to the website, I did not show it to you earlier, but with this, there is an option to preview. I will show you that preview option later, but for now, and you always want to preview before you actually submit and deploy, but since I've already played, I know what works. I will just click on submit and say added Google Tracking ID to container, and then added Google Analytics Tracking ID to the container. So that is done, and I click on publish. Now version 2 1.gtid, it shows that Tracking ID has been deployed to my website through Google Tag Manager. I click on workspace and I see live version. Current live version is 2. In the first one, we deployed just the container, and version 2 deployed the Google Analytics Tracking ID. That is done. Now, I want to show you another way how to see if everything is working as expected. Now let's look into testing if all of the changes have been correctly deployed to our website. One way to do that is built in with Google Tag Manager is you click on the preview button to take your website with a deployed container into a preview mode. Now let's go, I'll show you how this preview mode works. Let's go back to our website right here. I'm going to refresh this page. What the preview mode does is add some debug code to your website, and once you open it, in the bottom you see the Google Tag Manager debug panel, and here basically what it's telling you right now, let's go on this summary message, page view, DOM is ready, and window loaded, so on and so forth. Those are all the events. What you can see here is on this page, the Google Analytics Tracking ID was fired one time, since that is the only tag that we have deployed through Google Tag Manager. If you look at variables, you didn't set up other than the tracking ID, and then data layer shows you all of the events and other things that happened, and provides all of the name of the variables in the data layer which appear on this page. So this is how you can quickly look at if your deployed changes are working correctly on your website. In our case, they are. Another way is to go, what I'm going to do now is leave the preview mode, since I have already ensured that everything is working as expected. I have now showed you how to use the preview mode to make sure everything is working. All the changes you made with Google Tag Managers have been deployed to your website. Another way you can do it without taking your website into preview mode is there's a extension in Google Chrome called Tag Assistant by Google. I will put again the link to this. Just add it to Chrome, add extension, and this will add a Tag Manager extension to your browser. Let's go back. Let's refresh this page. Okay, we were out of the debug mode, so in the bottom you don't have the debug panel available anymore. So right here what you see is this Google Assistant, Tag Manager Assistant. So set up all the properties. I'm not using floodlight, so it doesn't matter to me. Let me keep all the rest and that get done. Enable. I'm going to refresh my page. And now if I go here, what I can see is that the Tag Manager is showing me that there is the Google Tag Manager code that is added and Google Analytics code that has also been added to this website deployed correctly. So I can see everything is working. I'm going to click post, so on and so forth. So right now all this is working. Let me go back. If I did not exclude my IP, let me see if I can see any behavior right here. So as you can see right now, my website is correctly being tracked. It's showing that there's one active user on this website, which is me. If I go on content in analytics, I can see post 5, which is what I clicked on, that this user is viewing, which is me in this case. With this, you have seen how to correctly create a new Google Tag Manager account and a container for your website and deploy Google Analytics tracking code using that container. Hopefully you found this video useful. You can get more information on my website. The link is listed below, ecompage.com. You can learn about additional things such as setting goals and filters in Google Analytics, tracking campaign with Google Analytics, and create custom reports in Analytics. You can also go over and learn about dimensions and metrics, as well as how to create custom dimensions and metrics for your website. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel. I will bring you more videos in the future.